Greetings, fellow cruisers. This is Jeff from Enjoy Life Traveling. Today we are going to take a look at the casino on Mariner of the Seas. I am here. This is boarding day. While some of the machines you're going to see are off, I do try to go back here and get some still shots on some of these machines when it's actually open, so you can kind of see what they are a little better. But I did try to get that top area so you can kind of see what the machines are. That will be at the end that I've added those. You will get a chance to see the tables and the amounts that you can bet on those and the odds if you're interested in that. But this starts out as just looking at the machines. One of the things that really stood out to me is they had a lot of machines that were down, that were broken. And again, at the end, I'm going to show you where during one of the ports, I say one of the ports, the only port, Cozumel, they actually had a whole bunch of monitors laid out, and I guess they were just changing out some stuff, but when it was all said and done, it was still a lot of stuff that was broken. So that was a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. Overall, it's a nice casino. It's a little bit odd in that they have the side that I'm on here is the smokeless side, or the smoke side, I'm sorry. And then on the other side near the bar, it's the smoke-free. And then up on the stage area, the elevated area, is the tables, and you can smoke there. So you've got smoking on each side and non-smoking in the middle, and the smoke, again, does not know where the line is that it's not supposed to cross. So you don't really get that smoke-free environment. I'm not taking a stand one way or the other. I'm just saying that it doesn't really work the way they chose to do it. So with that said, let's move on here. They had some pretty good games, but it really wasn't most of the games that I tend to play. And quite honestly, I'm showing you this, and I've been off the boat. I've been off the ship for a day. I just got off actually this morning, and I'm recording this. So did not have a whole lot of luck here. I mean, really poor. I was paying over $2 a point, which is terrible. So, and I tried several machines. I talked to several people. I'm not saying they're calling machines, tied or whatever, but at least on this particular sailing, a lot of people were having trouble getting hits. At least that was the story that I was getting on that. And again, when I'm paying $2 a point, I'm used to paying, hopefully $1 a point is more than I care to pay. It was not a good day there. Oddly enough, the machine that did the best for me was Mo Mummy, which is a high volatility game, and I was absolutely shocked. The stuff that was a lower volatility was just eating me alive. So much for low volatility. You never know what you're going to get. So this prosperity, if you look here, it's a good little learning lesson here, is that you can tell that the top end numbers are the same. They're all connected, but on their major, they're different numbers. So if you're going to play one of these, you want to play the one with a higher number. I mean, when you can see that there's a huge discrepancy between the two, that's telling you not that it's necessarily going to hit, but it's been a much longer time since it has hit. So if I'm going to play one, I'm going to go ahead and try to get that, because that tells me, again, at least it's been a while since it's hit. These are machines here that I will come back and show you on. I do remember for sure that those are in there. Those are every machines. And those are actually when you see me put down the volatility, Every does a decent job of kind of letting you know what their machines are. So, of course, dancing drums. Who doesn't have dancing drums? That's going to be one that people kind of gravitate to. And it does okay. They've got all kinds of different versions, of this that are out. I'm not necessarily as fond of it as some other people are. But you remember what you've had luck on and what you haven't. So, again, as you can see, there's a lot of machines that are not on. But again, I will try to get to those. As far as how the casino went, the host was not overly present. I mean, they were at their spot, but they weren't necessarily overly present in the moment. Some casinos you really get to see the casino host, and some you really don't. And this would be one of those to where you really don't. Again, one way or the other, don't necessarily care, but just saying. Just going back to those Every machines, those machines are the ones that they will use if you were in a slot tournament. Those get programmed differently and will allow them to do their tournaments there. And it's a little bit different game as when you look at those, and they're normally on, they're different games, but when you go to play the games in the tournament, they'll be all the same. So this is your poker. You kind of saw those poker machines here. They do have a fair amount of them, which you don't get to see that a lot. It seems like they were almost getting faded out. I did a little bit of a cut here because there was a small child. So while I usually try to do it as much as possible in one shot, I didn't want to. I try to avoid having the kids' faces in those, so you may see just a little bit of jumping when that happens. So again, this is Mariner of the Seas, and Mariner of the Seas is a sister ship of Explorer of the Seas, Adventurer of the Seas, Navigator of the Seas, Voyager of the Seas. I feel like I'm forgetting one there. I've been on all of them, but anyway, again, similar. If you've been on any of those Voyager class ships, it's generally the same amount of space. Voyager was a little bit different because they had a real presence as far as the table games goes, and this one just had sort of a normal amount as far as what I would consider a normal amount of table games. Now, as far as the service goes, what I felt is that if you were at a machine, you really didn't. I didn't feel like there was very good service. Even you could maybe see some people going around, but they'd be moving so fast that if you did see them, you wouldn't be able to react in time to get their attention. And if you're trying to get their attention, it's probably too late. So I was not happy as far as how the floor was taken care of if you're trying to get a drink. However, as far as the bar goes, I thought they did a pretty good job there. Everybody seemed very pleasant, and they were attentive and pretty quick about getting the drinks to people. There usually wasn't too much of a wait. Really, one of the things that probably stood out to me the most, and I feel like this has been a little bit of a trend, is that they are really making sure that you are not getting overly intoxicated. So obviously when you're there, whether it be a drink package or if you're getting prime drinks, a lot of times people are trying to really make sure that they're getting their money's worth, so to speak. And I've seen this on the last 4, I guess, trips that I've been on, to where they're starting to cut people off, or they're starting to give them warnings that they're about to get cut off, and they'll just hand them a bottle of water. Says, "Look, I'm not cutting you off, but you need to slow down a bit. And so if you drink this, give it a half hour or so, and we'll take care of you." And I've talked to them about this personally, and apparently they are cracking down because their jobs are on the line. So if you get frustrated because you feel like maybe they shouldn't have been cut off, know that I was told directly, and it was a real concern for several of them, is that they're getting fired. If someone gets intoxicated and an event happens and maybe someone gets hurt, they're fired. The bartender's fired for serving them. And that was, I saw one of the bartenders, he'd had a bit too much. He was a little loud. He probably wasn't as intoxicated as I've seen some get, but it was enough to make him nervous. And he told him, "Sir, I'm not cutting you off, but you're going to have to do this." And luckily he was pretty cool about it. Whereas when I was on Brilliance and I saw that, I've seen him really get, irate, and they're nervous. They try to get security over there. If you argue with them, I want you to understand that whether you're right or you're wrong, it could cost you, because if security gets involved because it's escalating, they're going to cut you off. And when they cut you off, it's for 24 hours. I was told that specifically on this ship. So if they're going to cut you off, and you cut you off at 11 at night, at 11 o'clock the next night is when you can start drinking again. So it's not a pleasant situation there. Just know that going in. All these places, and I really like the bars, and they're very attentive, and I think they do a great job, make some of the best drinks. But at the same time, they really have to deal with a lot of times the people that are the most intoxicated of all, and they're found in the casino. So anyway, off track a little bit. I'm just talking because obviously you guys want to see the games, and there's not a whole lot that I can tell you as far as trying to go through every single game and explain them to you. That's probably its own thing. So I want to let you see these games, and you can take that in while I'm hopefully trying to give you some information in regards to the casino, in regards to the ship and your time on it. All right, so I'm going to come back to that that coin pusher machine because I want to show you something on that. And I'm just a big, I got issues with it, but I'll show you again. So the machines here, again, they're fine. Everything's very well kept except for the fact, like I didn't have like button problems, but man, there was just so many machines that were down. I got that a cashless wagering thing. I had someone mention about that. So I was kind of hoping that if I got that QR code that you'd be able to hopefully zoom in on it. And then if you wanted to see what those were, hopefully I paused long enough or you can do it to where you can get it on your phone so you can see what the process is for cashless wagering or any of the things that are going on this month as far as how they're being offered. So here's all your tables. And again, after this, we're going to show you some stills of the machines when they're on. I tried to stay away from doing the videos while the casino was open. I wouldn't say I've never done it, but I try to avoid that. Although I didn't do that on Brilliance, I was hoping to try to bring some of the Brilliance stuff out there for the casino. And I had some corrupted video that I'm having trouble getting some new footage of from anybody else. So anyway. Let me know in the comments if you happen to have some information on that, and I will do my best to get with you and see if we can get out a real good video to show you what Brilliance looks like too. This has come up a bit as far as if they have a roulette table. Yes, they do. There is a roulette table here. I kind of found myself wandering through here, and I end up actually in between all these tables in an area that I'm not supposed to be here in a little bit. And I didn't even realize it because I'm so focused in on trying to get the pictures of the casino and show you every little thing, and I realized that I'm behind the counter and I don't belong there. And I'm about to do that now. So there was some other people that were over here talking, and I wasn't going to interrupt them, so I just kind of went around and I just sort of passed them. You probably didn't see them, but you will in a little bit here. And I realize now that I'm not where I'm supposed to be, so I get my butt out of there. So it's also probably worth noting to you that when we talk about doing the drinks, usually the casino bar is probably the last one to close. It's the nightclub, that'll usually be the second to the last, and then the only thing that's really open after, like, say, 2-ish is a lot of times the casino will be open till 2:30 or 3. Again, not always. And then also, if you go to the food court, in this case here, the Cafe Promenade, they will be open until 3. There was a new person on there. We're talking to him, and he said, "Yeah, we're open 24 hours." And the other person comes in and says, "Well, the coffee and water is open 24 hours, but you can only get the pizza and stuff until 3." So, and I've seen that close down early when it's slow. So don't just plan on that being open. If you're wanting it, get your butt down there and get yourself some food. As you can see, now they did have, and I thought this was interesting because it comes up a bit, is the smaller amount bet for blackjack, and so they did have 2 tables that were $10 blackjack tables. However, the odds were more reduced on that one. So if you won, you weren't going to do as well as if you played the higher dollar amount. So and that I've seen that across the board really, that's the way they've done that. The other thing I really wanted to talk about, and I'm kind of going over something I'd already said, but it's come up so many times, is that people don't realize about, they've been gambling on a ship, but they don't realize that there's offers out there. And so if you've been on there and you're playing and your card's in and you're getting points and you're only thinking about the instant cruise certificates or about getting Prime, is that you should be getting offers usually through the mail. But there's other ways to get those. And just real quick, while we're at this machine, I want you to notice that this is the first day and everything is perfectly set. And I've brought this up before. So at the end of the one before this, all those things that were close to falling, they redo those. And so all the money's sitting back there. So anyway, this is where those every machines are at. But going back while you're looking at these, as I just wanted to say, is that when you go to the clubroyaleoffers.com, go to there and then you put in your last name and your Crown and Anchor number, and you can see the offers. And if you're not getting those, it may be because you didn't know that they were there. You're looking for emails, and it's simply a matter of going there and checking. So don't miss out on that, because that's a big part of it. And I was talking to a couple today, and they did not know.
There you go. Let's see some names here. Who are you guys? Let them know. Woo!
You know, I didn't get as many people. I really just wanted to get more than just these guys, but sometimes I get to talking with people, and I don't always get the pictures and videos I'm looking for, but this is where I meet the most people at, and I certainly did talk to a lot of people here. You know, if you see me, certainly stop by and say hello. I appreciate that, and I want to get to know y'all. I really appreciate you watching the video today, and if you'd like and subscribe, it'd be much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching.